back to the podcast, everyone. Today I'm with a very special guest, the one and only Arnie Woods.
Yo, yo.
Hell yeah.
What's up, guys?
So I checked out your catalog. So you go from making, I hope this isn't an offensive term. I don't know if emo rap is still a relevant term or not. But you went from like emo rap to producing for Desiigner. How the fuck did that switch even come to happen?
Yeah. Dude, to be honest, I listen to so much music. I want to say that I grew up on a lot of 80s stuff and a lot of like 70s rock because of my parents and my grandparents. And then like when I was making my way into, like middle school and stuff, obviously like My Chemical Romance or like, Blink 182, Sum 41, like all those bands kind of like really opened my eyes to that lane. But as I progressed more through high school, I would like get into electronic music and hip hop and stuff. And I wasn't really producing hip hop music until I came to LA.
Oh shit! Wait, how long you been in LA now?
About 3 years.
Oh
About
shit!
3 years now. So I came right after college, and I went to college in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I am 23.
Oh wow. So we're relatively around the same age. I'm 20, 23, and it's cool to see that because I'm at the age that all my friends are still in like college right now, and all of them are like out of state. So it's interesting when I find people who are around the same age as me doing dope shit.
Thank you. Yeah.
So so when did you start with this? Is emo rap the right term? I really don't know if that's.
You could call it whatever you want. I think emo rap's probably a good term.
Okay.
I'm just really into alternative and like mixing alternative rock with like hip hop and like the majority of like late 90s and early 2000s sound.
Okay.
Like that's my shit.
I had on do you know who Jairus Johnson is?
Yeah. I saw that guy on TikTok.
Yeah. I had him
blew
on
up
the
off
podcast.
of those remixes. Yeah.
That's kind of cool that you should probably like meet him. You guys seem like you're in the similar lane of
we
like
probably
music
will,
taste.
honestly. Yeah.
So what did you go to school for?
Well, technically I went to like an art school, and it was for music production.
Okay.
There was like a lot of music theory involvement, which I think may have complicated things for me instead of just like trusting, what I like out of music. But I would like sneak into all of my recording arts friends' classes and kind of just like do a double major, if you want to call that. And then it was like a 2-year program, so I got in and out like pretty easily.
And then where are you originally from then?
I am originally from Vermont. I'd say I spent like the majority of my life living there, but I was like born in Georgia.
Oh wow.
Just been like all over the place, I guess.
So did you start music in high school then, or middle school, or?
Yeah. I never took lessons or anything. I kind of just started at the end of high school.
Okay.
Like around like 16 or 17.
Damn.
And started on like GarageBand, moved to Logic, and then once I got to college, I like switched into Ableton, and shit was crazy beyond that. But
it's interesting, like with your sound of music. A lot of people who try to like, I believe that you have a huge music palette, but for the songs on Spotify, at least, for that genre of type of music, it seems like a lot of that's like bedroom with low production, probably no mixing at all. But it seems like your music is pretty well mixed. Do you know how to mix your own music?
Yes, sir. I feel like that just came with practice and like wanting to sculpt out my sound. And like learning from friends around me, like within my circle. I have like really good mixers around me, so they were able to tell me like what to dip and what to heighten. But yeah, I would just say it's been like 4 or 5 years of just listening and being like trusting my ears.
Wow. So do you probably know like the ins and out of everything that you do probably then?
Yeah, I literally do everything. I record myself.
Wow.
So I'm like my own engineer because I feel like I get kind of antsy when I'm not in control.
Oh
Like
my God. I feel
I
the
like
same way.
full control, like one mind over the entire record. But that's just my process.
No, I feel the same way. Even like I feel like I can relate my podcast to recording music, honestly. Like
Yeah.
I did my first podcast tour to LA like a month ago. And
Oh,
it was my first time going to LA on my own. And with the pandemic, my studio was closed down, so I was doing everything from my house. It was the most controlled environment you can ever imagine. Just you
right.
got your Zoom, you got your laptop. You can choose to the point when your guest even enters the Zoom chat. Like everything is at your fingertips.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then I take this road trip to LA. I drove all the way, by the way, so that was an 18-hour drive.
Right.
Nuts.
Yeah.
I get there. I had booked everything thinking that LA was like Seattle. Like parking in Seattle can be a bitch, but the upside is there is parking. It's just you might have to pay $20 for a parking spot.
Oh shit.
Wild. So I was kind of thinking that's what LA was going to be like, or like Seattle. The people with money live mostly in Seattle, versus people with money in LA don't live in like the actual city of LA. Things I didn't
Right.
realize. So I
Right.
booked the studio that I was going to be recording out of in the heart of LA. Didn't really think about the parking situation. Didn't think about where these artists would be traveling from. And I
Mhm.
realized no artist truly lives in LA. I didn't realize there was no parking. I got to the I had a few guests show up to the studio and couldn't find parking and just left. It was wild.
Yeah. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, man. So
Yeah.
it's being in control of being in control of your music, your sound, even down to like promotion is like very important to me at least. So it's cool to see that
Right.
you seem like you share the same values.
Right. I feel like there's like a lot of power with keeping that shit in house,
Mm-hmm.
because then you get full creative control and you get to know where your money's going and like everything else. So
It's 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 cool, but also sad that like artists in a way can't really just be artists anymore. Like it's cool that
yeah,
being independent, you're in control of everything, but at the same time, you have to know how business works, or you're gonna get fucked over, or you're just
right.
not gonna make it at all.
It's
Like it's
honestly like 80/20
yeah,
to me now.
yeah.
Like recognizing the business aspect and like that's pretty much like the biggest change that I saw when I moved to LA. I was like, "Oh, I can't just make music. Like I need to get familiar with the business
Yeah.
because you can't do anything without that.
So, were you part of the music scene at all in Vermont? And if you were, could you like describe to the audience how different maybe artists making music in Vermont are versus artists making music in LA?
Honestly, I didn't link with anybody in Vermont. It was
Wow.
kind of just like me in my room, like locked away, studying. I would say that there is a music scene in Vermont, but it's like so tiny.
Mm.
Like I grew up in a town of 10,000 people,
Oh shit.
and most like I went to a public school and my graduating class was like 30 kids.
Oh my
Like
gosh, that's wild.
so most of the people I would tell like, yo, when like after I'm graduating, I'm going to LA, like I'm pursuing music, and they would look at me like, yeah, right, dude, like go for it. But
Wow.
I don't know. There's like a few recording studios, but I would have to drive like 50 some miles to get to it.
Oh shit.
Type shit. Yeah. So LA was pretty much the only move for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you moved to LA to follow your pursuit in music. It wasn't just for like a job or anything, or how'd that come to be?
Nah, it was all music. I mean, when I got here, I did some shitty jobs to pay the rent, but eventually, like that led to me being able to like intern for a studio and like get in the room
Oh shit.
and offer like what I had.
Wow. So are you working with a studio right now? Like, how is music income for you right now? Like how do you stay making music and affording like your lifestyle?
Gotcha. Yeah, I was involved with the studio for a while, like a year and a half, and I would just like kind of stick around and network and stuff like that. I was literally interning for, I want to say like a month and a half,
Mm-hmm.
2 months before I got um like these placement opportunities. And then
Wow.
I recognized that I was like, yeah, I'm not just an intern, like I'm a, you know.
There we go.
So, but I'd say like the majority of my, income or resources, whatever you want to call it, is from like streaming and working with like these other artists and um just a bunch of stuff, like honestly. Finding ways of like passive income like while you're sleeping
Right.
is the move.
Wow.
Because rent is crazy out here.
Oh, I bet. Jeez.
Yeah.
So, do you think you're more on the producing side right now? Like, are you making a lot of your money by sending out beats or?
Um, yeah, I guess. I mean, I have placements with like TV and stuff like that. So I get some money over there
Wow.
and I get some money through artist projects and like producing for them. And then I also get some money through like just me,
Wow.
producing like my own tracks and singing on them and like owning 100% of
Wow.
that. So it's kind of just like all over the place.
That's dope. So tell me about. I saw like one of your latest posts was you have songs on. Is it The Shy, right? The Netflix show.
Yeah. 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 We recently got that place too.
Oh shit. So how did that come to be? Like, how do you get for up and coming artists? Like, how do you get placements on TV shows? I feel like a lot of people feel like you have to have hundreds of thousands of followers, be on a record
Nope.
label.
Not at all. Like the
Wow.
thing that I realized is the majority of people who are really killing it, you would never know
Mm.
because they work in the shadows. Like they don't care to be that extravagant about it. You don't need 100,000 followers to, but I don't really know how that came about. I kind of forgot about those songs for a couple months, but it was handled by Sony.
Okay.
Um like Sony's publishing company, and apparently they just shopped it around, and people from the Shy picked one of those songs out. We had like 8 songs in the folder, and they liked
Shit.
that specific one. So they let me know like 2 days before, and I was like, cool,
Wow. Sounds like a nice check right there.
right? Yeah.
Wait, so on your Spotify, you only have like 3 or 4 songs out. Do you have like when you're saying you're like sending people songs? Is it more like you're producing for people, or the actual like your vocals and they're just not on Spotify and they just show up on TV shows?
Right. Those wouldn't be on Spotify. Like, those are the type of tracks that we specifically make for like sync opportunities or whatever.
Oh,
And on that specific track there, it featured a guy called Dre, I think
okay.
his name is. So I wasn't singing on that track, but it's kind of 50-50,
Wow.
just whatever the track needs.
So do you have a manager right now, or how does that work for you?
No, I'm my own manager. Yeah.
Wow. What about? Do you have like any record deals, or how are you finding these like opportunities?
I don't I think it's a lot through like just trusting myself and like
Wow.
the universe, honestly. Like being really in touch with like my intuition and being able to like manifest these things, cuz I feel like one of the most important things is to be able to talk to people,
Right.
and I like talking to people. So
Oh
when
yeah.
they find out about my music or whatever, like I can just open that door, and it's organic,
Wow.
doesn't feel rushed or nothing.
So I'm guessing you just do like a ton of research and you probably learned a lot from interning because
Right.
it's interesting because this is a Seattle-based podcast, but I connect with everyone. But with the Seattle scene, especially from coming after being in LA, it seems like a lot of Seattle artists are grinding when it comes to like releasing music, but they don't really understand like the business grind. So
Right.
it's interesting to see like there's artists in Seattle who sound amazing but have been working for like 10 years
Right.
and maybe not even people, not even like the normal person who listens to music in Seattle, like the audience, they might not even know who they are, but they're relevant in the music scene.
Right.
So that's interesting.
It's all hustle. Like I know so many talented people that just don't give a shit about the business, and that's why they haven't gotten to their full potential yet. Um, so I think the business side, like the hustle, outbeats talent like every day.
So
For
when you
me,
were looking for jobs, were you looking for jobs that helped further your music career, or were you looking for jobs at first that just help pay the bills so you can continue your music career?
honestly, I was just looking for gigs that were in the industry. Like I would do PA gigs, like
Okay.
I would do retail work, like anything to pay the bills the first couple months that I came here, because I didn't have that much money when I came here. Like it took a lot, but with the intern stuff, it's like I realized from friends that were working in the industry that had like solid foundations, they were just telling me like get in the room,
Mm.
like you're talented, get in the room, and they will recognize that you're trying to work. And that's what happened, because the internship was not paying.
Wow.
It didn't pay me at all, but I trusted that just getting in the room and being in a studio and networking with people was gonna pay off for me like quick.
So like, how did you like understand your worth? Like back to the again back to like the followers and things. I feel like a lot of artists feel like they're not doing anything if they don't have a crazy amount of streams, not no crazy amount of followers.
Right.
What when you're connecting with or networking, what have you noticed that these people are actually looking for?
Wait, who?
Like when you're networking with people to get onto like these TV shows and things like that, like how did you find your worth when you don't have crazy amount of streams, crazy amount of followers? Because I feel like a
Oh,
lot of artists
gotcha.
feel like they have to have that first before they even try to reach out to anyone.
Right. I think people overthink um how good their music is.
Mm.
I feel like some people preface their music going like, "Oh, well, like don't judge the mix because like it's not all there or whatever." But it's just like no, if you have confidence in your music, like show it. Not a lot of people really understand that everybody has a different taste, and it
Mm.
might hit somebody 100 times harder than the previous dude, but like, yeah, you can't just quit because somebody says like, nah, I don't like that track or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I knew my worth because I don't have yes people around me. I
Right.
just have like honest people that I trust, and they knew it was all there. I knew it was all there. So it was beyond the music at that point, and it was just like, okay, well, I need to network and I need to handle business so I can, get this music to places
Mm-hmm.
that I want to. Um,
For
so
when I was in high school, like my senior year, I got hired by like a radio station, and I noticed like the people in power were all like older people, so they weren't really open to my ideas.
right.
When you're connecting with people who can help you get your foot in the door, or when people are listening to your music decide if they want it on a TV show, do you think these are like older people, or do you think they're younger people who just understand what's relevant at the time?
I have no clue. It's like it's all over the place.
Wow.
But I think that when people don't quite understand what I'm doing, or they're a little bit like, oh, we don't know, it kind of gives me more drive to prove them
Yes, I agree with
that
that.
it's some good shit. Like um, but yeah, I'd say it's all over the place. Like I never know who I'm dealing with until I talk to them and
Wow.
kind of pick their brain about it. Yeah,
Just know your worth and don't be scared, I guess. Wow.
yeah, for real. I mean, it's hard, but when you say it out loud or like you write it out and stuff, like you know what it is. You know who you are. You know
Yeah,
why you're here.
for
So
sure. So tell me about this. It was back in January now, and you may have sent him the beat before that even. Tell me about this designer connection you made.
right. So it's funny because the first placement opportunity that I had that I was talking about,
Mm-hmm.
when I got in the studio like 2 months in was with Desiigner. That's the first time that I met him.
Oh shit.
Um, and my friend Joey, who is an engineer,
Yeah.
brought me into the studio. I'll never forget that day. Like I came back, I was like eating some Chick-fil-A or something. Came back to the studio. I was like, I said it out loud. I was like, man, when are they gonna pick my shit? You know,
Mhm.
like it's time. And then not even 15 minutes later, he's coming out and he's like, yo, do you have a pack of beats? Like
Oh
they
shit.
want to hear some shit, you know? And so he brought me into the room. Like they landed on the second beat that was in the folder. I only had like 7 beats in the folder. They landed on the second beat, and I came into the room, and I don't think he expected me to look like what I look like, you know?
Wow.
And he was like kind of looking at me like, "You did this?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." And he's like, "Well, can I hop on it?" Like, and I'm like, "Can you?" You know? So he did that track, and he did another one that night, and yeah, that was 2 months into me like interning, and I was like, wow, well, if it can happen this easily, then let me try some other artists, you know?
Oh shit.
Um, but from there, like we kind of started like cultivating this relationship, and I would see him every so often, um, at like that studio or a different studio,
Mhm.
and I'd say after like a year or so of knowing him, um, I got recommended to kind of lock in with him, um, as his engineer,
Oh shit.
sort of. So I would just like pull up to his house. We would record, we'd knock out some records, and we would do that for shit like 3 or 4 months.
Holy fuck.
Um, and but like when I showed up, he was like, "Oh shit!" Like he remembered me for producing and stuff too. So it wasn't just me engineering; it was me doing everything.
Mhm.
you know so I didn't send like the amen beat. I did not send to him. I don't really send
Wow.
him emails. I kind of just like pull up and
Damn.
we either cook on the spot, or I'll pull up some stuff that I've previously done, and he rocks with it, and literally just we just go.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet he has a fat house. That panda money.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild. Were
Yeah.
you excited when you saw that he made like a music video for it?
Yeah, I was stoked as fuck. Like, I didn't know there was gonna be a video or nothing until like a week before.
Wow.
Um, and he just like called me over. He was like, "Yo, you gotta come check this out." And we watched the video. So, we watched it a couple of times. Like, he's like, "Yo, this is gonna be big. I'm trying to release like singles and stuff like that, and like plan this project." And yeah, we were stoked, honestly.
Yeah,
Cool shit.
it's sitting at like somewhere between, I think it's like 1.4 or 1.8 million views right now.
Yeah. No, I was stoked because it was like one of the biggest videos on like that World Star.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I was like, damn, they're like really anticipating.
Holy shit. So, how did you come up with your the producer tag? I think it's a bunch of kids maybe saying Arnie Woods or something like
That's
that.
that's not a bunch of kids. That's me and my friends.
Oh god.
I literally got because I uh I like not having to really like correct the pitch or nothing,
Right.
because my beats are like all different keys.
Mhm.
So if I had like one of those producer tags where I had to like mess with the pitch, I would have to do it every time.
Mhm.
But in my head, I was like, well, if it's a crowd effect, then I'm just gonna stick it on any beat and it's gonna sound the same. It's gonna sound perfect. So I got
Wow.
me and like 4 or 5 of my other friends from the studio to kind of just say my name all at once. And
Wow.
then I pitched that up like 2 semitones in Ableton, and it sounds like a kid's crowd.
Wow. It's
Yeah.
short and simple. I like it.
Right. Thank you.
Wow. And is Arnie Woods your government name, or is that like your producer
That is
name?
not my government name. That's actually my grandfather's name.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah. So, cause I went by another alias before, but it was like it was too like manufactured, like stage name wise. That was when I was doing electronic music.
Mm-hmm.
So like once I started producing for other artists and like hip hop and doing like all this, artist stuff myself, like songwriting, I wanted it to be more of like a person, like a personable name,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Like Travis Scott did the same thing, or like Frank Ocean, like
Yeah.
that's not their name, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my grandfather's name, so he's one of my inspirations.
There we go. Are you pretty close with him, I'm guessing?
Yeah, no, I mean he passed a couple of years ago,
Mm.
but yeah, super close with him.
He lives through your music now.
He's dope. Yeah, absolutely.
So, who are some dope ass artists you've met besides Desiigner?
Oh shit. I mean, I'd say I mean I met a lot of people honestly, but talent wise, I'd say Smoke Perp
Okay.
is a
Wow.
cool artist. I think he gets overlooked sometimes. Like I've made beats with him.
Wow.
Not a lot of people know that he produces and shit, but he's a crazy producer, you
Wow.
know? Or um like Polo G
Okay.
and Scory. I'd say Scory is probably like one of the most talented people that I met in the studio.
Really?
If you know who that is.
Yeah, I do.
Like his melody and lyric game is crazy, you know?
Holy
So
shit.
um
And is this all just being in LA? Like, do all these artists just like swarm to LA and they're all just in the studios and you could just like walk into one studio see one artist, or how does that work?
right. Yeah. I'd say the majority of the people that I met have been in LA.
Wow. Have you
Yeah.
have you made any music like in other states or like Atlanta or New York yet, or visited them
I
yet?
haven't. No. I've had like some offers to be flown out there,
Oh
but
shit.
it never came to fruition.
Wow.
But I would like to go to Atlanta at some point
I heard the studios
for
there are
sure.
insane.
Yeah, kind of hectic.
Yeah. So, do you have any projects you're gonna be releasing, like as a producer, and just have dope ass artists on your beats, or like how anything in the
Yo,
works like
yeah,
that?
absolutely. So it's like me and Designer have shit 30 some tracks,
Wow.
you know? Like so I'm kind of just waiting on the rollout plan for
Mm-hmm.
some of those because you'll hear some of those on his project, and then some of the ones that he doesn't want to release, I'm probably gonna release under my name.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, that's the next move for that, and then I got a single actually coming out next Friday.
Oh shit.
Um, not this Friday, but next Friday, the 25th, called Irene
Cool.
for my project. Yeah.
Cool. And what's your project gonna sound like? Do you think it's gonna be more melodic? You're gonna be rapping? Is it gonna be like sounding like alternative
Yeah,
rock?
I'd say it's that that emo rap, that alternative kind of late 90s style, you know.
Hell yeah.
I've gotten like a lot of comparisons to like Third Eye Blind or like Sublime or like some of those guys, cuz like I've been doing a lot of guitar stuff, but I want to mix it in with hip hop and electronic music and kind of just, I don't know, go everywhere with it, you know.
That's dope. Have you figured out, or do you have like any plans to like do what Jairus Johnson's doing and work with these like bands? And how would that
Oh
work
yeah.
as a producer? Like, do you make them? Would you make a beat for a band, or how does that work if you're
Yeah.
trying to work with a band?
Yeah, so like I think what he did with some of the stuff is he like repurposed
Yeah.
their songs into different beats, and I would do the same, you know. Um, but it's hard for me to like remix stuff that I think is perfect, you
Yes.
know, because I'm
Yeah.
like I don't want to take away nothing. Like I want to keep the same essence, but yeah, I think that within the next year or two, like I'm gonna be working with like Travis Barker
Oh shit.
and and heroes like that. To me, they're
Wow.
heroes, but because it's like the shit that I grew up on,
Hell yeah.
you know. So I'd say definitely.
Who are some artists that you haven't worked with yet that you're dying to work with?
Oh shit. Um, I want to work with Posty
Ooh, I can
for
see that.
sure. Yeah, he seems like a really genuine dude. Um, I really like his shit. but I wanna. I'm not really that concerned with working with like the biggest artists, like, you know what I'm saying, like
Mm-hmm.
that. It's happening and it's gonna happen, but I want, as a producer, to like break artists or like give light to other artists and like really
Yeah.
executive produce some talented people's projects, because I feel like that's, as a producer, that's the big shit,
Yeah, that's what
like
it's
Pierre
about.
Bourne with Cardi, or anybody else that really just, as a producer, like executive produces that whole project, and it's like their sound, like that's the chemistry.
That's dope. That's actually
Yeah.
that's those. You're like a genuine producer slash artist who wants to like help the music industry and the culture.
Thank you.
There we go.
Appreciate that.
So what are some like pros that you enjoy about LA, and what are some cons that you like don't like about LA?
Oh shit. Pros. I mean, the pros to LA is it's a work zone, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like consider this home. I
Right.
would just say that this is like a temporary home, and I'm here to like work my ass off.
There we go.
and and in saying that, I think the downside to LA is that it's so damn chaotic sometimes, or like there's a lot of distractions. Um, but yeah, there's some characters here
Yeah.
for sure. Like I said, growing up in a small town, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
When I came here, it's like kind of polarizing, but I like it. It keeps me on my feet.
I think it's crazy that like the California fires don't even make national news anymore. They're just like so
Right, they're just
common.
like normalized. Like the first time that I experienced an earthquake was here.
Oh wow.
And I was like looking at my friends, I was like, holy shit, like this is kind of exciting.
Wow.
Like I wasn't scared. I was more just like, damn, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know?
Were you, because you went to school for music and everything, do you feel like you were somewhat prepared when you ended up in LA, or was it like a culture shock for you?
Um, a little bit, prepared, but it was more like once I got to LA, I quickly realized what was going on. And I'm like, oh, I can't just be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know that I can sing, I know that I can songwrite, and I know, you know, that I can even record people and stuff. So I need to be an all in one,
There we go.
and show people that I can do that. So it was kind of just like within the first couple months, I was like, oh, okay, so this is how it is.
Right. Well, Arnie Woods, what is some advice that you have for up and coming artists, curators, influencers?
Some advice. Shit. Um, trust yourself. Trust yourself. Don't get down on yourself. Um, that's the big thing. There's a lot of like um mental health talk, especially like with artists and stuff. It's like it can be so easy to get down on yourself, or think things aren't going your way, but like I promise you they are. Like you
Mm.
you just gotta stick with it. It took me 4 or 5 years to get my first placement,
Wow.
and I didn't even know that I was like chasing placements, but like when I got it, I was like, oh shit, like it's starting to pay off, and like this feels good, I feel like I'm in the right place. So that's probably my number one advice for people coming up, is just trust yourself. Like if you like something, someone else is gonna like it,
There we go.
you know. So
And what is the easiest way for people to reach you? And are you open to artists reaching out to you to collab, or how does
oh,
that work for you?
absolutely, yeah. I have my email on my Instagram page. It's at Arnie Woods. So if anybody wants to reach out and collaborate or anything, just hit my email up. Yeah, for sure.
There we go. And what's your Instagram handle?
At Arnie Woods, Arnie Woods, Woods.
There we go. This is the NAST podcast with
Arnie Woods.